Mark Kellogg, and then open for questions.
Yeah, obviously disappointed in the final outcome. Tip my hat to Vic and his group. That's good. They're a top 10 team for a reason. Their size, I think, bothered us. Their pressure a little bit at times bothered us in the half court for sure. And just never found an offensive rhythm whatsoever. I think before the game we had a few things that we really wanted to do, which we actually ended up doing. So we really wanted to see if we could turn them over. Wanted to be about +8 at least in the turnover margin, which I think we ended up +11. Needed to be somewhere close to even if we could on the offensive boards, which they're elite offensive rebounding. So you're going to look at the rebounding and, we got beat pretty good, but really it's the possessions that make, we miss shots so they get opportunities to rebound. They didn't miss very many, so we don't get a lot of opportunities for defensive rebounds. And then I thought the big one, I thought we needed to probably outshoot them from the three by probably 5 or 6. So that would be like +18 points from the 3-point line. And then that was the difference. We did not make shots. I liked the shots we got early in the game. We started forcing them as the game went. We got a little frustrated, but early on I thought they were right. And we just didn't make them. And sometimes it comes down to that. But I thought our kids battled. I think if you would have told me again before the game that we would hold Texas to 70, that we would have an opportunity to be in that game in the fourth quarter. But didn't make enough shots, didn't play well enough. They took us out of our rhythm offensively. And we just didn't have enough offensive firepower tonight. So we'll get better from this. That's an elite team, well coached. Really, really good. And I thought they showed it tonight.
What are your impressions of Madison Booker? She's normally a forward, has played point position with Rory Harmon hurt, and she goes out and has a double-double.
Yeah, she's elite. We knew that coming in. She's elite. She may be one of the best mid-range players in the country, even as a freshman. At one point, I was like, she made a couple plays, and I was like, that kid's probably 18. I don't know how old she is, but that's an 18-year-old out there in an environment like this against what I think is a pretty good basketball team in our group. And at times, she made it look easy. I wanted to keep it close enough so maybe late we could, maybe tire her out and make it a little difficult for her. I know she ended up turning it over probably more than they would like, but she makes plays around those to probably make up for it. But that's an elite freshman.
Coach, talking about your defense, 24 turnovers, that's the good, but then the bad is the Texas shooting a 53% from the field, which is worst against you guys this year. How do you kind of find a medium there where you're turning them over but also not allowing them to make half their shots?
Yeah, well, I don't know that those go hand in hand necessarily. It wasn't like it was all or nothing. It was like, we're going to pressure, give up a layup. Now we gave up a few of those, but they just got us in the half court too and executed some stuff and a few offensive rebounds that led to some easy buckets that we needed to be a little bit better at. But I don't have the numbers yet, but we do keep that, so we'll look and see if we gave up a ton of points on the back end of the pressure. But I didn't feel like that was the difference in the game at all. It was just, they made shots. When we made a mistake, they made us pay, and that's what really good teams do, though. And that's the difference, is when you make a wrong rotation or the wrong play, really good teams make you pay, and they did.
Coach, there's 42 fouls today, 21 aside. Do you think that the physicality led to maybe some of the forced shots and that sort of thing where you just couldn't establish any kind of momentum whatsoever offensively?
Yeah, it was definitely physical, probably a hard game to officiate. Again, there wasn't a ton of flow to it. Some of that's due to Texas's size, without question. But I thought our kids battled too, and maybe the whistle went our way sometimes, and maybe not so much a few other times, I thought. But you just have to play through that, and we tried like heck, but we just couldn't get a rhythm, and some of the fouls may have taken us out of that flow that we like to play with.
JJ drew 10 of those 21 fouls. What can you say about her ability to get the whistle?
Yeah, no, again, that's a extremely talented kid, one of the better guards in the country that fortunately plays on our team. And she just has an attack mindset, and I thought she came out really aggressive early on in that first quarter, and we needed that. And it's a kid that's played in big-time games. I know she was excited for this one, even in the preseason. This game meant a lot because you want to play against the best teams, and we had an opportunity to get one of the best teams on our home floor. And so she'll be disappointed when she sees, just probably her, the threes in particular, because I thought she had some really, really good looks, but stayed aggressive all night, and we need her to continue to do that.
We alluded to it a little bit in your opening statement, but can you just touch more on the impact that Texas's size has? It's on the interior, but also, outside with Booker handling the ball and being a lot taller than a lot of people guarding them.
Yeah, no, it's across the board, and it's not the starters. They just keep bringing them in, and even in the post, it's, there's a 6'4" starter, and then here comes another one off the bench, and then, let's bring in another one off the bench, and then maybe they get in foul trouble, so they just bring them right back in. And so, yeah, they have length, but they have size too. It's not just tall, it's length, it's strength, probably as much as anything else. And so they just bother you at the rim, which is why I knew we had to make some threes. I knew we had to probably make 10 threes to have a chance to win this game. And we just didn't do that. But yeah, and we're going to go against that. Now, not everybody has Texas length and size, but yeah, we'll be outsized a little bit, and so we'll have to play from the perimeter at times. But we also have to find ways to get production in the paint, and there's different ways to do that, and we didn't tonight.
When the shots aren't going in, is there I mean, do you ever want to just pull away and say the threes aren't falling, so we've got to stop, or is it, well, we're down and that's how we would get back in, and so we have to keep shooting them?
Yeah, and we talked about that a little bit. Normally you would want to find other ways to try to score and get some paint touches, which we did, but then you're chipping away down 20 with twos all the time, and they were scoring at such a rate that we never punched them. We never really gave them, I wanted to see what they would do if we kind of punched them and made a run at them. And when you only score 49, you're not going to really make any run. And so we just never had it. We just never could string possessions together. We keep that as well, so I'll see that here in a minute to see kind of how many stop scorers or stops we had. And so we have a goal for that too, and I'm pretty confident we probably didn't meet that one tonight. But yeah, just never could really get a flow because we couldn't score offensively.
The vibe with the team, first loss of the season?
Yeah, they're okay. Yeah, I mean, really the message is don't let one turn into multiples, right? Is now we go on the road to Iowa State, who's a quality basketball team. They're young and they've got some size too, but really talented with one of the best coaches in the country. So we'll have to get prepared here between now and then go down to UCF on Saturday. So, it's the gauntlet of the league, and we know that. But I think you got to be really careful because one can turn into multiple if you're not careful. So we really need to. Kind of just move forward quickly. But they were okay. We're not going to let one loss. We're 13-1 with the only loss being to a top 10 team in the country. So, for now we're okay. But we do got to get better.
Lowest shooting percentage of the season today. So, is there kind of a little bit of comfort there, knowing that if you shoot your average, it's probably a much closer game, or do you just kind of have to take it and roll with it?
Well, a little bit of both, because Texas had something to do with that probably as well, of the low percentage. Now maybe not that low, because like I said, I liked some of the shots we've been making all year, and it was a night that you don't. I've had plenty of these in my career, and you see those all the time. That you play really well and you don't make shots, you're probably not going to win against an elite level team, or maybe even anybody in the Big 12. So we do have to put the ball in the hole a little bit better. Maybe I could have helped them get the right people, the right shots, but again, it was a little difficult because Texas defense is pretty elite.
Is it valuable that you go into this one wanting to turn them over and kind of make it a shooting game, and then it ends up becoming just not really making a lot of shots? You're still able to turn over a really talented team like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's some of that for sure. I didn't know that we could turn Texas over 24 times coming in. I just knew we wanted to be, I think the goal was +7 or 8 in the turnover margin, because they turn people over a ton also. And their pressure, it's a little different now without Rory, but they still pressured the crap out of us. It was just in the half court. We tried to do it in the full court, but we thought that was really important. We needed to be good in the first, 50, 75 feet of the floor, because they're going to have the advantage the last 15 feet because of their size. And so for the first half, I thought we did a pretty good job. I thought we lost our way actually a little bit in the second half with our full court pressure, and Booker caught it too easily, and they're just handing it off to her on an inbounds play. So I think we just got frustrated and just, kind of forget and lose your way just a little bit there when you get frustrated.
You also guys draw a pretty big crowd today. Coach mentioned the atmosphere. I guess, what's it mean to have a game like this where it's a top 25 kind of atmosphere here, and you're able to play with that?
Yeah, no, it was a good crowd. Our best crowd, it was the best crowd. We had the kid game, so there was a lot of bodies in that one. But without that one, it was the best. It was the best crowd for sure. And I wish we could have played a little bit better for the ones that maybe came for the first time and hadn't seen us play. I think we're a little bit better than that. Or I know we're better than that. So disappointed in that one that we couldn't put on a little bit better show for them, but hopefully they'll still come back and support us. We're 3 games into an 18-game league schedule, so hopefully we get plenty of opportunities to show them what we're really about. But we do appreciate it today for sure. That was a fun environment. We just could never get them in it. I kept telling them at timeouts, I was like, give the crowd a reason to get you guys going and feed off of their energy, but just never did.
Any more questions for Coach?